Hello YouTube, this is the working investor experimenting in Lending Club. So what is Lending Club? Lending Club is a peer-to-peer lending company where you, the individual, can lend money to other individuals and make some nice bang on your buck. They have a nice array of risk stratification. So their loans go from A to G, and every number down you go, let's say A1 to 5 or B1 to 5, that is taking upon yourself higher risk because the way they have a whole rating system, how they rate the risk of the borrower to see if they're going to pay you back. So the more risk you take, the more percent possibly of APY you get back if they pay you back. So what have I done? I have invested $500 in Lending Club, and this is my risk stratification. My portfolio is comprised of 60% A's, 30% B's, 10% C's, and I've taken out 20 notes, so 20 different loans of $25 each. And then my average weighted APY so far, if everyone pays me back, is 8.69%. I've accrued 20 cents, 2 dimes of interest, but we shall see if people will pay me back. So these are my notes. So the top 6 have already been issued and they already have due dates. The rest are all being issued. Sometimes if you make a loan and they're still being funded, you have to wait till they get funded. As you see here, the 96, 68%, this is the percent of funding. So the most important part of Lending Club is filtering out who you're going to lend money to. That is the most important thing. So I don't really care about progress because people typically, I've noticed, their loans pretty much get filled up pretty quickly. So even if you're 10%, if you're giving someone a loan when they're only 10% complete, you just wait a couple days, it'll be done. Most important is delinquency. Do not give a loan to anybody who has any delinquencies in the past 2 years. If you do, if you want to take that risk, it's a big chance that they are not as a trustworthy borrower as somebody who has no delinquency in the past 2 years. I try to keep my loans under $15,000 because it's easier to pay back smaller loans. I don't really care about the interest rate. I mean, I do care about it, but I don't filter it out. I just first go through criteria and see what pops in. Always go for, you want to see the past 5 years of records because they get the best information. Some people make a big fuss about the purpose of the loan. Personally, for me, it doesn't make a difference. I just care about if I'll get my money back and if they're a trustworthy borrower. I always look for 2 years of employment because that shows that they are mature and they will pay you back, hopefully. And maximum debt to income ratio. So you don't want to lend money to somebody who has too much debt, and that means they won't be able to pay you back with their income. So I try to keep it about under 20-25%. And I try not to lend people money who have made more than 4 inquiries in the past 6 months, because somebody who's been applying like crazy to credit cards and all kinds of loans in the past 6 months is kind of a red flag for me, or a yellow flag for me. I try to do 36-month loans, and just bear in mind that say you do a loan with a 7% APY. So APY is annual percent per year. So you'd get 7% per year back. So if you do a 3-year loan, which is 36 months, you're going to get 7% back every single year for those 3 years. So you're going to get a total of 21% back at the end of the entire loan period. You can do a 5-year loan and get 5 times 7% back. But I like to get my money back faster. A lot of people do, but it's not always a make or break. I don't like to lend people who have collections, who are currently under collections loans. Anybody who have already invested in, because I have such a small, meagerly portfolio, I want to diversify my risks, so I'd rather lend $25 to different borrowers than to one borrower. So if one person were to default, I would lose a lot more money than if I were to split it up among other borrowers. You definitely want to check delinquencies in the past 5 years. I mean, if someone hasn't had a delinquency in many, many years, it shows that they're more trustworthy. We all make mistakes, but you definitely want to see a long time since the last delinquency. Credit score does matter to an extent. You don't want to have someone with a terrible credit score that's in the dumpsters. So I try to go at least like 690, 700. Anybody who has any public records, for any lawsuits or any other loans or anything, just forget about it. Like, don't, just exclude them because it's very risky. Earliest credit line, I try to do at least 5 years because this way when I see what's going on with all their data, at least I'm getting at least 5 years worth of data. And monthly income, you want to have somebody who has at least $2,500 in income or $2,000 in income, because that can show that they're going to be able to pay back. If someone makes $500 a month and they're taking out a $20,000 loan, you're likely not going to get it back, or they're not going to have a means to pay you back. And after all the filtering, this is pretty much what I've found. Although it's only 8 loans, but these are 8 good loans that are matching all your criteria. And if you have a lot of money to invest in one day and you want to invest more, don't feel obligated to push and look for terrible loans. It's better to wait for the next day till new loans come out. So for example, an A2 loan, which has a meagerly 7.07% interest, what kind of person are we lending to? So this is a case manager who has been working for at least 5 years, who has a pretty good income per month, able to pay back that loan, the payment of $370.91. Their debt to income ratio is less than 10%. The most important thing is the right column, and everything here in the right column should be zeros or A's. If you see anything here, try to think twice before you make the loan. And again, this person has a credit line since 2011. Credit score is pretty good. The only problem is that their credit balance is a little bit on the higher side. And that's a little bit concerning. I want somebody with maybe even a lower credit balance. Let's pick another one. Let's go to the end. Let's do D2. So this is the highest yielding APY from the loans that we've screened through, and this person has a pretty good credit score, not too much of a high loan. This person is a lighting technician from New Jersey, working for 2 years, making a decent income to pay back the loan. Their debt to income ratio is pretty low. Everything here is great. Only one inquiry in the past 6 months, so they're not looking to, just borrow as much money and just not pay it back. And, their revolving credit balance is not bad. So this is somebody I may lend money to, and you can get a nice APY. Well, I hope you guys found it helpful. I'll be following up with this experiment periodically. And if you have any other questions or any tips about making money in other areas, let me know.